Hello students, I hope you are healthy and you're doing well. Now today I'll be talking about how to score more than 140 marks in NEET physics. And as you might be knowing that the exam has been postponed and the actual dates are not yet out. What will be the new revised dates? So I think we over here I'll be talking just briefly about paper patterns highlight. So there are 180 questions in 3-hour exams, 45 questions in physics, chemistry, zoology, botany, marking scheme, plus 4, 0, minus 1, and on an average there you have to solve one question per minute. And based on the students that we've talked about, good students who have scored very well, they usually give 45 to 55 minutes in biology, and they usually give 60 minutes in physics, and about 50 to 60 minutes they spend in chemistry. All right, so if you check that in the first round when you go through the paper, you have to score minimum 500 plus, because in order to get a good rank or decent rank you should score more than 550 marks for 580 marks. So you should score bare minimum on of 550 or 580, more than that. All right, so in round 1 you should be able to score more than 500, right? And in the round 1 means in the first 120 to 140 minutes, 150 minutes, in that time you have to score this much, these many marks. And then in the remaining half an hour or maybe 45 minutes you'll have to increase your score up to 580 to 620 minutes, because in this next round the questions that you'll be solving are the questions which you have left in the first round, maybe because they were calculative or maybe they were not clicking at that point of time. All right, there may be a number of reasons. Now your teachers must have recommended it, your seniors must have recommended that NCRT is a must, right? In case of biology, 80%, 85% of the questions are directly from biology or from NCRT biology. So you have to revise NCRT, right? You have to be through with it. Although I'm not saying that NCRT is enough for NEET, no, but it is a must. It will create a base for you, right? And then apart from the NCRT, you should also read your class notes given by your teacher, or maybe some other modules which you have, or maybe some other book which is recommended by your teacher, right? Do not just pick any book and start studying it. Always take your teacher's guidance, because you won't be able to know that what all things are within the syllabus and what all things are out of the syllabus, right? So it is not possible to score more than 500 plus only by referring NCRT. You have to have some other material, you have to have some other guidance in order to score more than that, right? So in order to score more than 500 plus, it is a very common knowledge that you should score about 320 to 330 marks in biology. Maybe some of the students score more than 340 in biology, right? So you have to be very good in biology, because biology is mostly about information based, fact based, right? If you know them, you'll mark the answer. And while solving biology questions, it won't take much time. It will hardly take 30 to 40 seconds per question. Okay, so how to score biology? I can recommend one heading recall method, which I can talk about in some other video if you are interested in. Next is physics and chemistry. Usually students are good in biology and chemistry, but they feel a lot of problem in physics. So over here, if you are scoring 330 marks in bio, and in physics chemistry, if you can each score 125 marks, then I think you can easily score about 580 marks, which is a pretty decent score. Then if we talk about past years questions, on if you see the trend, then about 130 marks are directly linked with these topics which I'm going to show you. In physics, these are the topics, and these are the topics in chemistry. So in the upcoming days, you have to be through with these topics. Again, keep on revising, learn the formula, right? So usually more than one, about 130 marks, 125 marks, 130 marks, 135 marks, the questions are going to come from these major topics. So these are important topics. You have to remember all these formulae associated with them. Next, let's talk about how to score 135, 140 plus marks in physics. Okay, so an average student usually doesn't feel any difficulty in biology and chemistry because he can learn the information, learn the facts and law, but he usually faces the problem in physics. So now let's discuss about it. Now I'll be talking exclusively about physics. So next, before going for a war, you should understand your battlefield, right? So based on past 15 years papers in NEET, we can categorize all the questions in these particular categories. So out of 45 questions in category A, there are about 15 to 20 questions which we can put in category A. These questions are directly linked. These questions are directly linked with NCERT, or they are fact-based questions. That means you can just, if you know the theory, you can just mark the answers and it won't take more than 30-40 seconds. Okay, so category A, if you have canvassed all your theory, then I think you can score very easily in category A, about 15 to 20 questions, which is a huge chunk. Next is category B, where the questions will be of numerical sort or data manipulation, or maybe some derivation based questions, right? Which can, you just have to do the formula substitution. You should know how to convert units from one set of unit to the other set of units, and I don't think that they take about, they can be solved in 1 to 2 steps, maximum 3 steps. They won't be very long, right? In this category B, I'm not including long calculative questions. So in category A and category B, all these questions are very much doable, right? And if you are done with your syllabus, if you have revised your syllabus, you can recall everything, all the formula in your syllabus, which is the bare minimum, you can easily score this marks in category A and category B. Now category C questions, these are some critical concept based questions. They might be tough, right? And they might be some untouched concept. They might be on the verge of within the syllabus, out of the syllabus, and you might not have heard about them, this category C questions, right? So there will be questions in this, but 5 to 10 also not. I think there will be about 5-6 questions, not even on the 10 side. Okay, and these questions are usually rank differentiating questions, because the toppers, they will attempt all the questions correctly in category A and category B. The only difference is going to come in this category C questions, where they might make mistakes, or they might leave these questions. Okay, so these questions are known as rank differentiating questions, and you don't have to worry if you don't understand this. So in nutshell, if you minimize the risk, if you are your accuracy is good, in this category and category B, you will be able to score about 130 to 140 questions if you do them all right. So it is very important that you canvas your syllabus. You should know all your formulae. You should know all the theory, basic theory, right? I'm not asking you to master any topic, any subtopic. Just you should know bare minimum, right? And you can easily score in category and category B. In category C, just do not, you just think that you can leave them, and a very small chunk of the population is going to solve these kind of questions, right? So do not be worried about category C. Anyways, the number of questions category C are going to be very small. Now we have known that what kind of questions are going to come. Now let's talk about how to do well in the exam. Okay, so strategy number 1, or the number of attempts, that how many questions you have to attempt, right? In order to score 140 marks, 35 questions should be correct, right? So I made this table, which is a very simple table. For example, if you attempt 35 questions and all the 35 are correct, and 0 are wrong, then you only have to score, you'll score 140 marks. In example 2, if you, obviously we know that 100% accuracy, uh, right, it's not very easily achievable. So if you attempt 40 questions and then out of 36 are correct, 4 are wrong, then also you can easily score 140 marks, right? Then example 3, these are just example, there can be so many permutation and combinations, 45 questions, 37 are correct, 8 are wrong, 140 marks you'll achieve, right? So over here, you can create your own table based on how many marks you want to get, and it depends on you, right? Now let's talk about it. Time management, as we have already discussed, how much time to give to bio, to chemistry and physics. Next, you have to take care of negative marks, right? If you think that I do a lot of negative marking and that means I should attempt 45 questions, so that 8 will be wrong, at least 37 will be correct. Now you should understand that you don't have so many, so attempting more question means you'll have to score more number of questions, you'll have to attempt more number of questions, which will include, you'll have to spend more amount of time which you won't be having, right? So do not attempt all the questions. If you go after attempting all the questions, you won't have time, you will not have time for the other subjects, right? So you should be very choosy about the questions. You should not attempt all the questions. The questions which come in category C, you should directly leave them without doing any, wasting any time on them, right? Next is your accuracy should be good, right? These all are connected points. If you attempt less number of questions, your accuracy rate should be higher. For example, in example 1, the accuracy is 100%. In example 2, accuracy is 90%. In example 3, accuracy is 82%. All right. So your accuracy should be very high. Try to keep your accuracy from 90 to 100% of the question percent. Why? Because you'll have to attempt less number of questions, which is going to save you time. Okay. Next, let's do a very small exercise. Let's say you have to run a hurdle race, right? And I'm going to give you 2 paths, 2 tracks, and you have to, the time which is given to you is minimum. You have to cover as much as distance possible in a given interval of time, fixed interval of time, right? So these are the 2 paths. Okay. So now you tell me that which hurdle race are you going to take? Which path are you going to choose? Is it path 1 or is it path 2? All right. So this makes the foundation of my strategy 2, which is mental stability. All right. Now, this is a very important point, right? And you should understand this point, that in a question paper, all the questions that we have categorized before A, B, C, there won't be any categories on them, right? All the questions will be unorganized. They will be uniformly distributed throughout the paper. Okay. So you never know that which question, the first question, the second question, third question that you're going to face, is it going to be an easy question or a tough question or an information based question or a very calculative question or critical concept based question? There is no way to know that. Okay. So when you start running the hurdle from question number 1, 2, 3, 4, you reach at 13, you see that the question is very tough. Would I be able to solve it? Right? So many questions are going to come into your mind. So your momentum is going to break. You're going to stay there. You're going to wonder whether you know this question or not. Then after leaving this question, you do 3 more questions. Again, question number 17, it is a tough question. So again, the same problem is going to arrive, right? Again, question number 4. So try to understand that you should not break your momentum. If these question number 13 and 17, when you see them, you should directly leave these questions. Okay, that this question, I'll try to solve them in the next round. So how should you attempt? This is how you should attempt. All the tough questions or category C questions, you should leave them for the last. Over here, if you can see, leave them for the last, right? So this is how you should attempt. Okay, you should start from question number 1. You do all the easy questions. If you see over here, about 35 to 38 number of questions are in easy category, in category and category B. So do not solve, leave those questions, the tough questions, category C questions, you just leave them, right? If you know basic theory, if you know basic formula substitution, you can easily score these small questions, 35 to 30. You can easily score these questions, right? Now, what are the benefits of this? The benefits of this is, the first one, that your silly errors are going to reduce by a very good amount, right? You must have, if you don't believe me, try to see your past papers, mock test, right? And check where do you make the silly mistakes. You will never make silly mistakes at the starting of the paper. You'll make silly mistakes when, after, confronting some tough questions, because these tough questions are going to shake your confidence. So, with the shaken confidence, when you try to solve the easy question also, you'll think 10 times whether I'm doing correct or not. And we don't have that much amount of time, right? So, this is one. The second is, your confidence is of utter importance. Your confidence should remain intact while solving these questions. That is why I urge you that uh, all these tough questions, you should leave them for the last, right? And try to focus on all the category B questions, which are the easy or fact based questions or simple formula based questions. Okay. One more is that you don't have to attempt all the questions. You only have to attempt 35, 36, 37 questions. And if your accuracy is good, if you know all the formulae, if you are able to recall all the formulae, I think these 35 questions you can do in 35 minutes, or maybe in 40 minutes, right? So it is going to save you a lot of time. So mental stability is very important. You should not panic, you should not lose your momentum, and just leave all the tough questions, because these tough questions, even possible that toppers will also leave. Next, formula listing. Okay, so make a separate formula sheet with very small font size. Try to consolidate all the formula in mere 5 to 10 pages. Write very small, all right, and do not write them in notebook, because just admit it, you are not going to ever read it. At the last times when the exam is just going to come, and when you have to revise all these things, so you are nowhere going to open your books or notebook or your formula, that handbook that we give. So these 5 to 10 pages are very easy to revise. They're very easy to, they're very handy, and you can read them anytime you want. Next is, while making the formula list, you should at least refer your class notes or NCRT or the modules that you are given with. Okay, and if in any formula you feel any difficulty, you should consult with your teachers. Next is, while making this formula book, if you're weak in any topic, I would say that you should derive that formula, because when you derive that formula, it is when you try to revise the formula, right? If you know the derivation, it is going to be very easy to remember all the theory. It will just come rushing into you when you revise it, if you have derived it once before. Okay, so while making it, if you still have time, while making the formulas, this formula sheet, you should derive it. Okay, next is, try to check the formula sheet again and again whenever you start solving any question, or whenever you start solving questions of any topic or any mock test. You should revise this formula sheet again and again. And I must say that, like organic and inorganic, you should revise the formula sheet on a daily basis, right? Initially it might take 2 hours to 3 hours, but when you do it daily, all of the formula you can revise it in mere 1 hour. Next is bioclock. Now see, usually you don't you prepare your schedule, you prepare your body, you adjust your body so that it should be able to sit for 3 hours. Okay, so by stamina I mean this, that your brain should be able to tackle the questions at least for 3 hours. It should remain, it should not get tired before that. Okay, next, adjusting your bioclock means that usually the NEET exams are conducted in afternoon. So over here you should not sleep in afternoons. You should be studying at that point of time for 3 hours minimum, so that you can train your body, that your body should not feel sleepy and the at the time of NEET exams. This can be done. You can start it 2 weeks before, also before NEET exam, right? In 2 weeks your body will easily get adjusted. Okay, so this is from my side. In any other if you have any queries, if you need any how to make your schedule, how to revise everything, you can contact us at any point of time. We are available on WhatsApp. We are available if you want to call us and talk to us. We are also doing that with our students. Okay, so do not feel any hesitation. Don't hesitate to ask us anything. Just do it. If you feel anything, we are here to help you. Okay, all the best, and take care for your health.